Number 4 is about factorizing. Factorizing, we just said factors, the factors of 12, blah, 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 the factors of 15, blah, blah, you see? So the factors were the numbers that we were going to multiply to get the number we were looking for, or the number we had. So those were factors. 2 times 2 times 3 is 12, right? So the factors of 12 are 2, 2, 3. The factors of 15 are 3 and 5. We multiply them. So factorizing, or this number factor, you see that how this starts with factor? It means that you have to find numbers to multiply. Now, how do we start? Is that only going to be with numbers? No, it can happen with letters too, okay? So I'm going to find the factors of x squared. How do we find the factors of x squared? What numbers can I, or what can I multiply by itself to give me x squared? Let's rewind a little bit, and we said that if you multiply the same base, you add the exponents. So we didn't see the exponent before, and it meant that it was a number 1 there and a number 1 there. X times x is x to the power of 2, because I add 1 plus 1. What does that have to do with this? Yes, that x and this x, those are the factors of x squared. And I only want the factors, so that's what I'm going to write here. For this is one term. This is one term, and this is another term. What are you talking about? What are terms? Terms are all the numbers that are separated by signs or by symbol. Let's say you have 5 plus 3x minus 9x squared plus 7xy, whatever. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. They're separated by one sign, another sign, and another sign. I don't care if they have 3 letters or letters and numbers, or only 2 of them, or only 1. They are separated, and they're one term, a second term, the third term, and the fourth term. Those are terms. Okay. What are the factors of this number 2, or of this term, the second term, 2 and x? Well, there's nothing else I can do. I know I can multiply the number 2 times x, and that's as far as I can go, because I know that 2 times x gives me 2x. So to factorize, you need to see parentheses, yes or yes. But there is something called the common factor. Remember how we were looking for factors and the ones that were in common and the ones that weren't? Well, in this case, I have to see what is repeating for the first term and the second term. And whatever is repeating, I'm going to put it here in front of the parentheses, okay? In this case, I have x, and then I have 2x. Oh, yes. So I have 1x and 1x. And I'm going to put only 1x here because it's only the letter that is repeating. So you say x, and you put it here in front of the parentheses. What do you have to do now? You have to write inside of the parentheses whatever that is left. On the left side, I only have 1x, and I'm going to put it there. On the right side, I have a number 2, and I'm going to put it there. So what separates them? Since we know that we have to have 2 terms, a positive sign, and that is what I'm going to repeat here. And this is how we factorize. But I was telling you, and I remember in class today, we were talking about something else. Let's say you have 3x squared plus 9x. Okay, here you have to write down the factors of 3x squared. So 3 times x times x. And on the right side, I'm going to write the factors of 9. 3 times 3 times x. I'm going to take the repeating. Remember that we have to put in front of the set of parentheses what is repeating there. So I'm going to take 1, 3 on this side and 1, 3 on this side. And I'm going to place it there. And then I'm going to take 1x on this side and 1x on this side. And I'm going to write it here. What do I have left? Why can't I keep going? Because that's as much as is repeated between the first term and the second term. There is no more x on the right, or there is no more 3 on the left. So I took all I could in groups. So 1, 3 on this side, 1, 3 on this side, 1x on this side, 1x on this side. So 3x is what I put in front of the set of parentheses, and inside I have to write down what is left. On the left side, I only have x. On the right side, I only have a number 3. You see? What sign? did I have between them? A positive sign. Okay, so I repeat the sign. And that is the way I factorize. One more thing. What if it was like this? X squared plus x. Oh, I don't see numbers there. This is what you're going to do. You're going to write down the factors, x times x. And on the right side, you only have a number 1 times x. Because yes, you could have left the x alone. But I suggest you that whenever you have a number that is alone, only the number, put a number 1 in front, okay? Always, always, always put a number 1. That's your best friend. So I'm going to take 1x on the left and 1x on the right. I'm going to put it in front of the parentheses because I know that that's the common factor. So inside, I'm going to write the x that was left and the number 1. There's never 0. People tend to think it's 0. It's not 0. A number 1 is always there. It's that we don't see it. And then all you have to do is repeat the sign. And that's the way we factorize this. So yes, to factorize x squared plus x, we say this is x times x and this is x times 1. So you take 1x on the left and 1x on the right. What you have left is x and 1. You see, that's how we factorize this. One more thing. Was that the only way we were able to factorize? No, there are many other ways, okay? But an extra, this is extra to the quiz that we were solving. How do we factorize? By grouping? By grouping. You have this on videos, but I'm going to say it again, okay? So let's see how this works. You have, how many terms do we have here? Yes, it's a little confusing because you have parentheses and then you have a sign between them. But no, you don't care about that. The parentheses works as a wall. So this is protected. Whatever is inside the parentheses is protected, okay? That's protected, that doesn't even count. So how many terms do we actually have? You take all this, and that is one term. And you take all this, and that is the second term. Why? Because those numbers are being separated by a sign. In this case, that number 4 in front of the parentheses is not separated by a positive or a negative. It's multiplying, okay? That negative 3 is not separated by a positive or a negative. They don't look like this. 4 plus x plus 2 minus 3 minus, to say something, x plus 2. That would be one term, another term, another term, another term. Do you notice the difference? They are separated by signs, positives or negatives. That's the only signs, those are the only signs I'm talking about, positives or negatives. Those will be 4 terms. So that's the difference between having a positive and a negative between them, or another positive if you want to between them, or having the number multiplying the parentheses. That's how we know we have 2 terms. Okay, so we know the answer has to have 2 terms. Then we have to find the common factors. How is that possible here? Okay, we have 4. 4 can be written as 2 times 2. 2 times 2. And then the parenthesis is going to, I told you it was like a wall, something protected. So it's going to be there, protected, x plus 2. That will be one factor, okay? On the other side, you have 3. So 3 can be divisible by 1. So it's just 3. And then, or if you want to, you can put a number 1 there, but it doesn't count here because the 3 is not going to be alone. Why not? Because you're going to have a parenthesis that is protected. So x plus 2, okay? So it works the same way. It works the same way. We have to check, what do we have in common on the red and the green part? What do we have in common? What is repeating? What is repeating? I see that the number 2s have to stay because I don't have a number 2 on the right. But the parenthesis is repeating in both, or the set of brackets or parentheses are repeating on the left and right. So I'm going to take it. Yes, I can take it. And I'm going to put that in front of my set of parentheses, you see? So if I remove it on the left side, what do I have left? 2 times 2, which is 4. If I remove it on the right side, what do I have left? That number 3, so I put a number 3 there. And then I have a negative between them, so I put a negative here. And that's how I factorize by grouping. It works like this: 4 apples. Let's say we have 4 apples. minus 3 apples. Instead, the apples are representing x plus 2, the wall, or the parenthesis there, okay? So if we wanted to list the factors here, I would say 2 times apple. On the right side, only 3 times apple. 3 times apple. What is repeating between them? The apple. So I take the apple outside, and I'm going to multiply it times whatever I have left. On the left, I have 2 times 2 is 4. On the right, I have a number 3. And I repeat the sign between them. And that's how I factorize. But guess what? The apple was representing x plus 2. So I replace it. X plus 2 times 4 minus 3. In case this is too horrible for us. But just pretend it is a wall. It's restricted and you can't touch it. You can't touch what is inside. So it's the same as if it was an apple.